Right, welcome back to another video. Um, in a different perspective this time. We ended up getting a new laptop for the new year to help on Brandon's channel with doing different stuff. And thought I could do when I'm doing my pickup videos instead of it being just a floating pair of hands. Change it to actually show me sitting here with the things. I think that flows a little bit better and will make for a little bit better of a video. Um, what I did notice though in the leading up to it when I was doing like tests behind the thing, as you can see, I still get the gleam, unfortunately, so I'm gonna have to show them at like a an angle when I'm doing them like that. I think that's probably better than what we had going before. So yeah, this is how the format and video style will be for the pickups moving forward. I think that'll be better, and hoping to be a little bit more active, I guess is probably the best word on my channel. A little bit more, doing some more types of videos, not just relegated to pickups and stuff. Um, I have some ideas of doing profile reviews kind of thing, which people like Platinum Bro, if anyone's familiar with that, he's done stuff like that in the past where you dive into like your gamer tag, as it were, on Xbox, or your profile as it would be on PlayStation, and just systematically, going through each game, not diving deep into each game. Of course, there's so many gamers like myself that have hundreds of titles that you've tackled, but just going through the ones that stood out to you and you have a lot to talk about. I think that'd be cool. Hoping to get Brandon on for him as well, to be there side by side, to have a little bit of bouncing back and forth. Also, it'd be interesting to actually look into his profile and stuff. I know he said that he didn't keep his original profile from all the way back when these were newly created profiles, but there's still a ton of history there. But anyway, I digress. I can't remember the last pickup. It probably was, might have been Metaphor, would have been that grouping of games. And I think I've missed out a few as well, but this, I won't spoil it, but well, you can see one on that side. It's a big, decent stack, and they've been building and building and building. And I thought, do I wait until the end of January? And I thought, no, let's get out of the way now. And now one, two, three, four, five, six, seven, eight, nine. So nine of them are from limited run. They got delayed at the time. They were meant to arrive. I think it would have been October or maybe November, and they ended up arriving pretty late into December for me. But you already saw what the first one was. It was Turok. So Turok 1, and as you'd expect, Turok 2, and Turok 3. So the trilogy there. And I booted up the first one. Only played it for probably about 40 minutes or so. I I don't know if I enjoy it. Um, it kind of felt it was like a mashup between like Serious Sam and Doom almost. Um, I'm not sure how much the series evolves over time because I remember they did a reboot game on. I never played it on the 360, but I remember going to a friend's at one point, and he was playing it on the PS3, and it was obviously nothing like these games here. But I kind of liked that reboot one. I won't lie. These ones, I think they're going to be the type of thing where I need to be in a very, very specific mood to be able to enjoy. But it's always cool though, regardless. Even if I'm not, if even if I don't enjoy the game, it's cool to own physically, with them being fairly older games. Yeah, on the back here it says first released in 1997, so it's older than me. Um, but yeah, it's just nice to have a bit of history in your hand. And with it being a limited run game, it probably will hold some level of value as they kind of don't print enough in my opinion. Um, so because they're all mixed up and it's been so long, I don't know what batch came with what. But I guess we'll go with this one next. Quake. So this is Quake one. This is even worse for the reflection because it still has the wrapper on. So sorry for that. But this is Quake one, and weirdly enough, I never played Quake. The only Quake game I played was there was a God, there was a title on the 360 which was kind of trying to be like a Battlefield game, it felt like when I look back on it now. It was Enemy Territory Quake Wars. And I remember playing that and being very impressed at the time. I'm sure if I booted it up now, it would be like, man, this is rough. But yeah, I think of the two of these two series, it's probably going to be Quake that I end up liking more as like an original thing. As I've played Wolfenstein and enjoyed it, definitely preferred Doom, the original Dooms overall as like the classic FPS games. But then no, Quake looks cool. So we'll definitely be interested in jumping into that. I guess this game would probably link best. Another one I haven't played. Another Night Dive studio. Night Dive did Turok as well, right? I believe. So we have a Dark Forces remaster. I think it's meant to be like a kind of like a Doom Wolfenstein kind of esque shooter. I haven't played it, but it would probably it would add up with it being a Night Dive Studios game. They've been on a really, really good roll as well. Like credit to them. These classic HD remasters, they've been pumping them out pretty frequently over the past few years, and it's, hats off to them for that. But definitely one I'm interested in checking out and look forward to diving into. I think I'll knock this one out next. This, I won't lie, I have no idea of this series at all, if it even is a series. I don't know if this is multiple games, but Clock Tower Rewind. I don't know if there's only one game in the series, is what I meant to say for that. Um, Never played it. I'd never really heard of it either. But when I saw it pop up on, can't remember what batch it would have come with, one of the batches, and I saw it and it was very obscure. I was like, at the very, very least, even if I don't end up enjoying it, this feels like a game that will hold its value, and I can always kick it and sell it later on down the line. But it's a 16-bit uh, horror game, and it sounds interesting. So it might be something that I do end up booting up because it says multiple endings, randomized gameplay elements. So I'm not sure what that's about. Choose from original mode or rewind mode. I assume rewind is one of them things where it's kind of similar to what PlayStation implemented, maybe, where you can rewind progress, maybe, so that it's not as brutal if you screw up and stuff like that. New animated opening, motion, comic cutscenes, and more. So it feels like they definitely put a lot of work into this for what it is. But yeah, I don't know. It's going to be one that because I only ended up playing Silent Hill 2 for the first time last year. So these like old school horror games, it's taken me a while to warm up to. Like the original Resident Evil, I've still not gone through and finished. So maybe that'll be the horror game for this October, but no promises. Um, we'll just knock all the limited run stuff out the way. So next up, a series that a lot of people are really like fond of, and that I never played at its release. I played it a very long time after it came out, and it had a it had a release on the 360, which I tried, and then it's had this re-release, and I've tried both, and I don't know, I just can't click with it, and it's Beyond Good and Evil. Um, I don't know what it is about it. Maybe it's because I'm not giving it enough of a chance, but it's not gripped me in the opening few hours that I've played both times. So I think it's going to be one of them things where I give it one last shot, and then if it still doesn't suck me in, I think it's just going to be one of them things where it's kind of like a Sekiro for me, where it's like I can look on at other people enjoying it, but it's just not for me. But it really should feel like it should click with me, and that's what is annoying me the most because it's kind of like the Sekiro thing again, going back to it, where I feel like I should be able to enjoy it, but I just can't. So we'll give it one more shot with that one, and then write it off, as it were. So two more limited run games left, and then two standard games. So this comes with expansions as well. Didn't even know. They obviously, as many people know, remastered Tomb Raider, and I believe 4, 5, and 6 is getting a digital release. So I assume that they'll partner because they seem to really like printing Aspyr games for them. So Aspyr was the people who did the remasters for this. I've never played any of the original Tomb Raiders. So when it did first get released, I purchased it digitally because I didn't know it was getting a physical. And I played the opening 45 minutes. And I can see the appeal. It's definitely cumbersome. It's probably the easiest way to describe the gameplay. It's definitely heavy, but you can also feel that they have smoothed things up at the same time. But definitely very special games and ones I do want to finish, and I think I would be able to go through and finish them all. Um, I don't think though it'll end up topping the reboot, not the 360 games. It originally released on the 360, but 2013's Tomb Raider and stuff like that. That trilogy of games, I still just absolutely adore from head to toe. So I don't think it will surpass them for me personally, but who knows? And then finally, the limited run ends up snagging a Lollipop Chainsaw, another one which never played on the 360 when it released all the way back when. It was one of them games that kind of, I think it released in like the final couple of years before the system, in its final like years of life before Xbox One was announced and stuff. So it was a title that I missed out on. Um, it's it's a very weird one because I booted it up and I was enjoying what I played of it, and when I went to boot it back up to pick up where I left off, I had to start the level over from the very beginning after getting like 35 minutes of progress in. And I don't know if I'm being a complete dumbass, and if somebody knows, please pop that in the comments, and I'll happily have my hands up because I've done things like that before. I think everybody has them kind of stupid moments. Is there like a save point system? Like, is there a like a JRPG has, where it's like a save point that's in the environment that I'm missing? Um, because it looked like it was auto saving, and that's what kind of baffled me. Because I was like, okay, there's no like saving in the pause menu. Strange. Maybe it just all is based off of auto saving. And if that's not the case, and if they expect you to like clear every stage in one sitting, that's a massive thumbs down in my book for me. But the gameplay itself, I think, is a little bit overrated from when I've heard people talk about it. They herald it as being very, very, very special and very, very good. I think it's decent, but yeah, that'll be one if the save system works, and I'll look into that. I'll definitely jump back in. But yeah, before we continue, for a grouping of pickups, these have been really none of these games I've put more than 2 hours into, which is crazy. And that trend continues with Unknown Nine Awakening. Jesus Christ. Um, a game that got really, really shredded in reviews on release. I thought it was a little bit blown out of proportion. I thought maybe it could be in a similar boat to like Vampire or Banishers and stuff. I, I don't think it reaches that for me. It was like a 2 hours, I believe I put into this. The opening hour, 2 hours. It's definitely intriguing and interesting what they've got going on here, but I don't think it will reach the heights of a Vampire and stuff. And yeah, I it's definitely not an IP that's ever gonna get a sequel. I think Bandai will put this down. I don't even know if the team that made it, Reflector, I think they are called on the that's to be believed on the game case. I don't even know if they're still around. Like it sold woefully, which is really unfortunate because the more these AA games kind of get thrown out there and kind of flop, the more damaging it is for publishers to want to take a stab at a AA. They would rather, if they're gonna take a chance, they would probably rather foot the bill for a AAA because the profit ceiling is probably higher. If they're gonna start looking at the risk versus reward. But let me take a sip. It's not Monster for once. Crazy. And then the final game released on Game Pass in November, I believe. I think it was November. Stalker 2. Yes, physical. Um, Holy hell, is this hard to find? Um, and that's something that I'm really beginning to notice. And that's what I wanted to, that's why I've left this to last because I was going to go on a minor tangent. Something I've noticed with Xbox games over the past year. We had this period of time for about 2 years now where physical copies have been kind of easy to come by when they've been printed. Like we still have instances of games that don't get printed physically on Xbox, but they go on physical for like PlayStation and stuff. But the things that did get greenlit, they were readily available. They would be able to be You would be able to leave them sitting there and the price would uh would go down. You could pick them up on sales. In the past about 6 months, it's basically been since maybe Sandland's release, maybe a little bit earlier than that. I started seeing inventory like drying up real quick. And an example I use is the Mana game that came out, the newest one for Xbox. Um, it's not available on Amazon anywhere. It's being posted on. You can get it from third-party sellers, of course, but I'm talking about like buying it brand new, sealed from the distributor. Um, when I looked on eBay, I believe 2 weeks ago, people were listing them for about £80, which is crazy. And that was kind of the same thing with Stalker 2, is that they were also being price marked up. And then there was another wave of releases for Stalker 2. So I ended up grabbing them. And I think that's what we're going to seriously begin seeing over the course of the next few years. I think you're going to have to be there day one, almost kind of having to give in to pre-orders because once they're gone, they're going to be gone, and then you're rolling the dice whether or not it gets a secondary print or not. Because I think game companies and publishers are wisening up to they know that the physical market isn't as big as it used to be, but it's still as rabid, if that makes sense. So you're not going to see as many people buy them, but people still have value for them. So they don't want instances where they print, say, 1,000 copies and only 100 of them sell, and then 900 of them sit in that warehouse and just they don't shift, and then they get cut until they're being sold for like £5. I think that's their strategy moving forward, is that you underprint, see how it goes. If they all sell out, you reprint it, see how it goes. If they all sell out, then you're and like I get it from a business standpoint. Yep, that makes sense completely. But from a consumer standpoint, it definitely sucks because when I was finally ready myself, for instance, to order Visions of Mana, I believe, is the newest one. It's sold out everywhere, and I'm gonna have to pay a premium. So hopefully that gets another wave. But even a limited run, I had in my wish list. They did the newest Yakuza that's been added. I believe that's Yakuza 4 that they've printed, which I'll be picking up. And because that's from limited run themselves, it's they're printed by order supposedly. So I have all the time in the world until they close the pre-orders for that. And I thought that was going to be the same case for Legacy of Kain, but in the fine print, when you look on the store page thing that they have up for it, they are they are just selling it for Aspire. So it says in very small print that once they're gone, they're gone. I wish they would print that on the pictures because I didn't. I know that's on me for not like deep diving in, but I was just gonna order it because obviously you have to pay for shipping for every damn item with limit run. So I was like, I'll just hold off and I'll order them all together because who knows, maybe they'll do a Yakuza 5 in that time frame, as two Yakuzas have usually overlapped each other. So I was gonna wait, and nope, they're all sold out as well. So they're gonna probably be price hiked, which is crazy. And to my knowledge, they're not being listed on Amazon, which also sucks. Amazon UK at least. I don't know if it's being listed on Amazon US. But yeah, that's just the little extra tangent that you get. Kind of kind of allows me to do that with this kind of video thing instead of it just being a pair of talking hands. This feels a little bit more natural and being able to do a little tangent at the end. But yeah, like I said, different types of videos. This is mirrored, so sorry. It's a little bit weird being backwards, but I believe where my finger is, that's where we ended the collection video where I go through with the phone, which I want to finish that off so that I can just show everything. So we have, God, this is so difficult. Right, that row down there. There's a row down there. That one, that one, that one, and then that one. That bottom row there on that final shelf, that's comics and stuff. So that won't be probably looked over. But yeah, I'll probably try and get that done in the next month or two, so that can be completely done. And then all I have to worry about is just keeping up with the normal standard pickups. And yeah, hopefully you enjoyed this, and more importantly, hopefully you enjoyed the different change in style. Hopefully seeing them being held there was a little bit more better. But if you want me to go back to the other style, that's no problem. But gotta get a use out of these new upgrades in the hardware and stuff, the mic and everything. So yeah, right. Thank you very much for watching, and yeah, check out Brandon's channel if you somehow haven't seen his channel and you've stumbled here first. And yeah, cheers. See you in the next one.